the public meeting for the 2016-2017 official school budget and proposed 2016 tax rate. With determination, we have a quorum, Mr. Dicky Gonzalez.
Present.
Dr. Norberto Cantu.
Present.
Mr. Eduardo Ramirez.
Present.
Ms. Judy Solis. Mr. Ruben Klein. And myself, present. We do have a quorum, Mr. Recio.
Ready.
Good afternoon, Mr. Board President, members of the board, Mr. Superintendent, ladies and gentlemen. Before we get started on the public hearing, I'd just like to take 1 second here and recognize the business office. Most of them are here today. It took quite a bit to get this packet together, worked a little extra, and I just want to thank them for the effort, the commitment of the efforts here. I want to thank them personally because without them, it'd be kind of difficult to get this done. So thank you for helping get this done and accomplished. Thank you all very, very much. Appreciate that. We're going to go ahead and open with the 2016 and 17 proposed annual budget and the 16 and 17 proposed tax rate adoption for the fiscal year September 1st, 16 to August 31st, 2017. If we look at our slides on the 16-17 proposed tax rate, as you can see, the maintenance and operations is 117, and the interest and sinking is 0.2814, and you propose a rate per 100 valuation, which would equal to 145.14. I'd like to make a point of interest here, and if you read the bottom, it says, the certified appraisal roll submitted to the district by Stark County Appraisal District is the primary source of information used to determine the rate for the 16-17 year. Okay. If we look at how our property tax is calculated, on the 15-16, the taxable value after the exemption is divided by 100 and multiplied by the tax rate. On 15-16 RGCCISD tax rate, the M&O was 117 or 1.1700, and the INS was 0.2684. On an average appraised value of 41,892, you deduct the homestead value, and you have a total value, taxable value of 16,892. If you use a formula on an average appraised value of 41,892, your taxes would be 242.97 for the school year. This is just a snapshot of last year's rate. If we move on to the next slide, on the 16-17 rate, the M&O is still 1.17, and the INS is 0.2814. The average appraised value here went up because property values increased. The number here is 42,703 as opposed to last year's 41,892. Less a homestead exemption, your taxable value here would be 17,703. If you use the formula, the new rate would be for the year of tax would be 256.94. If we were to compare apples to apples, the difference between last year and this year would be a total of $13.97 as a difference. Point of interest, if the average appraisal value had stayed the same last year to this year, the change or the increase would have been $2.20 for the whole year. This is the difference. This concludes the tax side of it and the tax rate adoption. From here we move to the next slide, and we're looking at the district is required by TA to represent these three funds or to present on these three funds for adoption every school year. As you can see, we have the 101, which we call the food service, or we call it the child nutrition program. We also have the 199, which is the general fund, and we also have the 516, which is the debt service. If we point out, we look at the revenues and the appropriations, or you want to call it allocations, which is the same thing. On the 101, you have 10,077,623 estimated revenues, and on the allocations or the appropriations, you have 10,077,623, which would be a balanced budget. Okay. On the 199, you have a revenue estimated of 101,782,562, and appropriations or an allocation of 104,082,554. On your 516, which is your debt service or your bond payments, you have a total of estimated revenues of 8,927,363, and your expenses or your expenses out, we collect and we pay what we collect is 8,927,363. If you move to the next slide. On the general fund estimated revenues, which we also call the 199, your local sources, which are your taxes collected, are your current taxes, your delinquent taxes, your penalty and interest current year, your interest earnings, and your miscellaneous. We have a total of, I believe it's 18,475,439. This year, just point of interest, we had an increase in this particular fund, this local source. On the state source, as you look down, the available school fund, the foundation school fund, the TRS, and we have a benefit, and another state revenues, we have a total of 82,307,123. On this particular source, we have less monies coming in this year, close to $1 million. On the federal source, on the bottom of the page, we have our federal revenues, which is Medicaid, and the SHARS program, which is a total of $1 million. Go ahead, go to the next slide. On your general fund expenditures, we have all the expenditures by function, and as you can see, they're listed, quite a few, and the grand total on the expenditure side are 104, which I mentioned a little while ago, 104,082,554. Okay, we have a sample there, or a snapshot. It's a pie graph. It's a picture of how monies come in and the revenues are allocated, and this is a simpler version of it to give us an idea, which is equal to 100%. If you look at the state revenues, they bring in 80.87%. The federal revenues bring in 0.98%, and the local revenues bring in 18.15%. These, I must just add that the state revenues are the ones that drive the district. As you can see, the pie is much, much bigger on the state side. Go ahead, sir. On the food service, the statement of revenues and expenditures, as you can see, the revenue, again, they bring in based on, it's a reimbursement program on what we expend, and they have 10,077,623, as opposed to the expenditures, which are also what we expend, we get reimbursed. Okay, this is a balanced budget. Okay. On the debt service, this is what we call the bond payments. We pay debt service or the bond payments. We have an estimated 8.927,363, and we have the expenditure of the same, and this also is the balanced budget. If we move then this is for information only. These are our special revenue funds, or should I say they're federal programs, and you have 211, 212, 224, 225, 255, 244, 263, 2650, 265, and 274. And we also have others, like this year we got the pre-K grant, which also you add to this. We have a total of an estimation of 9.959,372 for a grand total. This concludes our presentations on the proposed 2016-2017 budget. Any questions?
No, thank you, Mr. Alessio. I know that you all did work very hard. I know that you all have been working hard. I know that we inherited a $4.5 million deficit, and you all have worked tremendously hard in the business office to reduce it. And we thank you for all your hard work. Thanks to everybody.
Thank you very much. Thank you. We have an estimation of 12 million.
And if that balance is the money for the cafeteria money put in the balance? Okay. And what about the money from the settlements for Navia and are those restricted monies? Are those restricted monies? The settlement proceeds for the lawsuit?
Are they restricted?
Yes. They're not restricted. But can they be used for anything other than the repair? But those monies are allowed to be spent only for repairs of the school, right? And you're saying that the 12.5 million, right? Those monies are not. And what about, and I noticed here on page, I like, that you have negative, okay? Will you explain to me the negative? You have revenues in the amount of 101, page number 4. You have that number that's all revenues, and then you have the number for the total expenditures, and then you have a negative, which is excess deficiency of revenues over expenditures. That's a negative, correct? So if you have a negative in your under page 5, you always keep one of that discussion. It's not. Okay, so the deficit here, the negative $2,299,992 is where is that going to be taken from? From the fund. So okay, so when you take that almost $2.3 million out of the 12.5, that's going to reduce your fund balance, right? With that number. Okay, and what about the stipends that you're proposing? Is that already included from that number? Or is it going to reduce that number? Well, you have the one time, I think you have it under the agenda as a one-time bonus okay, so that is also not going to reduce that 2.5? It's already there. Okay. And listening to that the TA requires that the district carry a minimum of at least 2.5 months of monies in the fund balance. Okay, and what are it's 2.5 months, right? And you're not there now, right?
We're not there now. We're not going to do that. One more week to go. That will be
Okay, and what would Because you have 2.5, and what are the total operating expenditures for the school district? It's almost 7 million on a monthly basis, correct? Okay, so you don't even have the 2.5 months right in the fund balance now. Well, it's 7.5, 7, it's that's completed, right? You're already under credit, 12.5, correct? So those numbers will be available there. And what was the fund balance in 2015? It was around 15 million in 2014? You were having 40. Oh, that's okay. And let me ask you something. On the recent article from the Monitor states that Mr. Norman Jolly, who represents the school district, mentioned pending lawsuits that the school district will be entitled. You're aware of that? Okay, and how much did the school district spend on attorney's fees as of now? Okay, so then let me ask a question. So those pending lawsuits, how are those attorney fees going to be paid from? The fund balance? Okay, and you said that you'll have an accurate number by August 31st? And once on August 31st, when you have the final number, and if that number is under what the TA recommends for the district to have in its fund balance, what is the and then from there, where you go from here? Has there been any other patient in 2016 that did okay, and on page 5 you mentioned that for the state resources that you have this money for this year. Why is that? And now that you mentioned losing kids in enrollment, is the district prepared to meet the consequences of any
I believe we will, because if we have people being ready, planning, preparing, and be biased. And we've already addressed that, and discussed that. So I think we'll be ready for that. They almost a year from this month. So I think just a little bit of time to be able to plan and prepare and be ready for them to take care of it.
And the numbers for the 2014-2016 budget fund balance, if you will provide the and and also the number as of August 31st. Thank you, sir.
Basically, a little over 10,000 is, no, because we have coming up front, staying what we have, hopefully. I'm actually, I think the number for me is 1,006.
So basically, that's a simple question. Did you project your budget with zero growth? That
Basically,
let me ask another question. The fund balance, the $12.5 million that you say you have, technically is in the fund balance, correct? Yeah. It's not part of your fund balance? Okay. Last question. That $2 million that you have in the last, is that in your fund balance?
that's projected, that's proposed. And we're going to go out and
So basically, those $2 million are in your fund balance. So basically, then you say you have $12.5 million, so you're going to spend that money to fix the legal element, then you already have $10.5.
when we go to the international, stay on
No, that's from the numbers. I'm just saying, there's $2 million that you have. They're in the fund balance. So if you're going to pull them out, you have 12.5, this could be 10.5.
Let me just say.
Sounds like bullshit.
Your mic is-
So basically, if I'm just doing simple now, 4.5 is 10.5, right? Yes, awesome. So that's better. So you're telling me right now that the cafeteria or the food service is not in your general fund balance? Okay, your fund balance.
I know I mentioned it, but I want some clarification. You stated that the politics of the law are not restricted, correct? So if the sex education code says that those monies shall only be used for repairs of defects, renovation, and all the things that give rise to the law, how are they not restricted?
I think I read it in the paper, but
Well, Mr. Patty mentioned it in the article.
maybe they are, but I was going to be better.
Well, it's in the sex education code section 26.0111. And Mr. Norman Johnny, who represents us from district, mentioned it also in his comments to the monitor. And so if those monies can only be used for repairs of the school, for the defects they get right to the law school, which already have restricted. And states here is that point that whatever monies are not used for those repairs shall be returned to the state. So how can you include them in your fund balance? They're restricted funds.
We cannot use them, that's why I'm saying, I don't know if they need it, I don't use it at the time. If they don't, again, we cannot start, we cannot spend it, any amount, any money should go to the
So if I'm correct, you agree with me and you actually have a fund balance of 10.5.
No, because, again, I don't have a certified amount. Till I get a certified amount from our independent auditor, I could give you an amount.
Well, that's a fair statement. Well, let me rephrase it. If I am correct and the statute means what I believe it means, would you agree with me that it's $2 million that you have right in the government proceeds for the return of school? Okay, so would you agree with me that those $2 million would not be added to whatever fund balance?
Mr. Alessio, I might be able to help you. That statute is 2012. Because the school was built before that, it doesn't apply. I think maybe, and I can't hear everything, that might help you. I know you wouldn't know that. That's probably a question legal could answer. But just so that you, since you're, yeah. Maybe you'd ask him. Thank you, Mr. Alessio. I only heard about the unrestricted funds. Yep. Right. It goes into the fund balance because it was before 2012. She's quoting a statute for 2012 on. But Mr. Decio wouldn't know that.
I don't want to suggest these. No, I don't want to suggest the use of this. But where's Daddy? Oh.
And just for future reference, the only school that would apply with that statute, Mr. Decio, is the Rio Grande City High School. But for future reference. But it seemed like you were very prepared. Thank you, Mr. Decio. Now I know why y'all work so hard and long hours.
Determination, we have a quorum. Mr. Dicky Gonzalez.
Present.
Dr. Norberto Cantu.
Present.
Mr. Eduardo Ramirez.
Present.
Mr. Ruben Klein. Ms. Judy Solis.
Present.
And myself, Danny Garcia, is present. We do have a quorum. The Pledge of Allegiance. Judy?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mr. Garcia, before we go into any of the items, I just wanted to say, Danny. I just wanted to say that I am so appreciative, as I know all of the board is, at all the hard work that was put into the General Assembly. To all of you, and I know there was many of you working behind the scenes who put so much effort into it, I thank you. It was trending on Facebook. People were commenting, best General Assembly ever. Teachers were putting it was the best speech ever by the superintendent. So, Mr. Garcia, unfortunately, I had to work. I was in court, so I missed it, but I was able to see the videotape, and I saw that a lot of people put a lot of hard work. So to all of you who were involved in putting on what has been, I quote, the best General Assembly ever, thank you so much. Thank you to all of you.
Thank you very much.
Item 1, consider and take possible action on request for use of school facilities from United Healthcare to host a fitness camp on September 20, 2016.
I believe, Mr. President, you have a revised, attached their request from United Healthcare Fitness Camp. They were here before. I just want to mention that. However, they had some technical difficulty. Their system, the phones were not working. They could not get the numbers to recruit and bring in the kids. They want to come back, and we made them contact with the committee and had an understanding for them to come back. They're asking to come back on Saturday. So we, at the same time, I wanted to see Mr. Sainz because I wanted him to know that we requested that if this camp could be held also in La Grulla for the Grulla kids at the high school, and we're pending that also to be scheduled.
Awesome.
So with that in mind, we're recommending the approval to allow the camp to go on as on a revised date there, but it doesn't have any conflict with anything that we're doing, even though we started school, with any activity or any function or anything like that with the gym.
We have a motion, item 1.
Move to approve item 1 is presented.
We have a motion by Mr. Gonzalez. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second by Mr. Klein. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 2, consider and take possible action on request for use of school facilities from Immaculate Conception School for volleyball and basketball games.
Attached is a letter and a schedule from Ms. Maria Elena Olivares, the principal for Immaculate Conception, for the use of the gym for the boys and girls volleyball and basketball games. And again, we went through committee for that, and we also again recommend approval for the request of the facilities requested by Immaculate Conception.
We have a motion in item 2.
I move that we approve the item as presented.
We have a motion by Ms. Solis. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a second by Mr. Gonzalez. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 3, consider and take possible action on last budget amendment 2016-4.
Attached, you have a budget amendment 216-4. This represents the last amendment that we have for the year for our 2015-16 budget. We were asking for approval.
We have a motion, item 3.
I move that we approve the item as presented.
We have a motion by Ms. Solis. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a second by Mr. Gonzalez. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 4, consider and take possible action on appointment of deputy election clerk for the November 8, 2016 school board election.
The Rio Grande City Consolidated Independent School District will have a school board election in November the 8th, 2016. The district at the present time is need to appoint a deputy early voting clerk. The administration recommends approval of the appointment of Mr. Marin Lopez to the position of deputy early voting clerk for the district.
We have a motion, item 4.
I move that we approve the item as presented.
We have a motion by Ms. Solis. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Do we have a second? Sorry.
Second.
We have a second by Mr. Ramirez. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 5, consider and take possible action on leasing and purchasing election equipment for the November 8th, 2016 school board election.
Rio Grande City Consolidated Independent School District is proposing to purchase and to lease the following election equipment for the coming school board elections. The equipment is Hart Interactive. We're asking for 9 poll pads. Purchase them for $16,137. This will be used for verifying registered voter counts and totals. And from Election Systems and Software, LLC, we're asking for 21 electronic voting machines and 2 scanner machines, leasing them for $22,103.50. Purpose is to verify total counts. The administration recommends approval of leasing and purchasing this equipment for the upcoming school board election for the purpose of verifying counts and registered voters.
Do we have a motion, item 5?
I move to approve the item as presented.
We have a motion by Ms. Solis. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second by Mr. Ramirez. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 6, consider and take possible action on resolution to adopt proposed 2016 tax rate.
I would respectfully request we could go to item 11 and then come back to item 6.
We can make a motion to go to 11 to do that before. and
Take
then
it out
come
of order?
back. Yeah,
Do we have a motion and item?
That's all move.
to move to 11.
Move, yeah. We consider it item 11 at this point.
We have a motion to move to item 11.
And then second.
And we have a second.
Second.
We have a
Take it
second
out
by
of
Ms.
order.
Solis. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 11, consider and take possible action on adoption of the 2016-2017 annual budget.
We have compiled with the requirements of the law to post notice of a public hearing 10 days before the adoption of the annual budget. The work session was held on August the 9th to review the proposed budget with the Board of Trustees. At the time of the public hearing, the proposed budget was presented to the board public for discussion. We recommend approval of the proposed 2016-17 budget.
The pass out that was handed to you is also within the budget. As you see, one of the first pass outs is the teacher scale. That's the 2016-27 teacher scale. This is for new hires. You also see administrative and administrative support. These are accompanied with the last pass out with additional positions that are in the new pay grades. Of course, this is, again, in the 2016-2017 proposed budget.
Do we have a motion on item 11?
I move that we approve the item as presented.
We have a motion by Ms. Solis. Do we have a second?
No, we do.
We have a second by Dr. Cantu. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
And thank you, Dr. Salinas. I know that your office has done a lot.
Back to the agenda, yes.
At this point, I motion that we move back to the original agenda, item number 6.
We have a motion by Mr. Ramirez. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second by Ms. Solis. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 6, consider and take possible action on resolution to adopt the proposed 2016 tax rate.
Following the requirements of the Texas Election Code, Section 44004, a notice of public meeting to discuss the budget and proposed tax rate was published. Public meeting was held, and the proposed 2016-2017 budget was adopted. A resolution to adopt the tax rate for 2016 is attached. The tax rate to be adopted has 2 separate components, one for maintenance and operations and one for the debt, the INS. The administration recommends the adoption of the tax rate at 117 for M&O, maintenance and operation, and a tax rate for .28140 for the interest and sinking. The total tax rate for the 2016 would be in the amount of 145,140 per 100. We recommend approval of the adoption.
We have a motion on item 6.
I move-
So,
Go ahead.
So move, Mr. President.
We have a motion by Mr. Ramirez. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second by Ms. Solis. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 7, consider and take possible action on one-time bonus pay to all employees for the 2016-2017 school year.
The Rio Grande City Consolidated Independent School District recommends a one-time bonus pay to all employees for the 2016-17 school year only. The total cost to this initiative has been included in the budget. The amount would be $1,200 for professionals and $800 for paraprofessionals. Administration recommends approval on a one-time bonus plan for the school year 16-17 as presented.
Do we have a motion on item 7?
I move that we approve this item as presented.
We have a motion by Ms. Solis. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second by Mr. Klein. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 8, consider and take possible action on additional health insurance contribution from the district to employee plan.
The Rio Grande City Consolidated Independent School District recommends an increase to the current health insurance contribution benefit. An increase of $12 per month is recommended to make the new contribution $260 per month. This will help the employees with the 2016-2017 insurance rate increases as set by the TRS. The administration recommends approval of increase to health insurance contribution of $12 per month for the 2016-17 school year.
On item 8, do we have a motion on item 8?
Move we approve item 8 as presented.
We have a motion by Mr. Gonzalez. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second by Ms. Solis and Mr. Ramirez. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 9, consider and take possible action on proposed changes to hourly rate for the extended day program tutorials beginning the 2016-2017 school year.
The Rio Grande City Consolidated Independent School District recommends an increase to the current extended day program, which we'll call tutorials, recommended as follows. The paraprofessionals from $10 to $15 an hour, and teachers from $20 to $30 an hour. Supervisors from $25 to $30 an hour. The administration recommends approval of the hourly rate increase for the extended day program as presented.
Do we have a motion on item 9?
I move that we approve this item as presented.
We have a motion by Ms. Solis. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second by Mr. Ramirez. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. And Mr. Ressa, it'll be in 2 checks.
Yes, because that was an issue that many of our teachers, they've been speaking up, we're listening. They prefer when it's supplemental wages, not the regular wages. Many of them have voiced, and I know that they also went to the business office. And so we're proposing, if they feel more comfortable with receiving that second check for their supplemental wages, that we refer to that. And I know that we've spoken to you in your office about doing that.
There is no problem with that.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Item 10, consider and take possible action on proposed changes to hourly rate for the extended year program summer school beginning the 2016-2017 school year.
What number is that? The
Number 10.
Number 10. The Rio Grande City Consolidated Independent School District recommends an increase to the current extended year program hourly rate. The recommendation is as follows. The paraprofessionals from $10 to $15 an hour, teachers from $20 to $30 an hour, and supervisors from $25 to $30 an hour. Administration recommends approval of the hourly rate for the extended year program as presented.
We have a motion on item 10.
I move.
We have a motion by Ms. Solis. We have a second by Mr. Klein. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 12, consider and take possible action on rental agreement with GNK Service for custodial and maintenance employee uniforms.
The maintenance department wants to enter into a rental agreement for employee uniforms for the custodial and maintenance employees. The department management reviewed the uniform needs of the employees and a recommendation is to enter into a 3-year rental agreement with G&K. You have an attachment there. This contract is negotiated through the TASB buy board, which is the best price available, or the low price, the low bid, through the purchasing cooperative. The attachment lists the number of current staff. Quantities may change due to the attrition or new hires. However, a cost analysis has has performed by the maintenance department, and they determined a significant savings by entering into this new uniform agreement. The administration recommends approval.
Excellent. By when will the employees be getting their uniforms? Do we know?
We're talking to...
Oh, awesome. Okay.
Mr. Smedley, I know that the amounts were different for the yearly prices. I think it was like a difference of $18,000 or something, correct? Okay.
Yeah, it was a considerable savings
Awesome.
compared to what we're getting right now. And on the uniforms, if I may?
Yes,
Yes.
please, of
Okay,
course.
if I may, the uniforms are 11 sets for the employees, where 5 sets are with G&K being clean, 5 sets are at the employee's home, and that 11th set is what they're wearing. The only difference is the smocks for the women. What the department recommended was to get 5 smocks for the custodians, females, and where they would take them home and wash them themselves.
Excellent.
Yes. Okay, thank you.
Would you happen to have the logo with you? Andy? Yeah.
No, I do. I have it at my office.
That's okay. It's nice.
Yeah, sorry, but it's a very nice logo with both high school emblems on there.
Great.
Yes.
Great.
Thank you, Mr. Smedley.
Thank you very much.
And thank you to the maintenance department for bringing that up. Thank you.
We have a motion on item 12.
I move that we approve this item as presented.
Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second by Mr. Ramirez. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 13, consider and take possible action on special education course offering Braille reading and writing for the 2016-2017 school year.
Yes, good evening, Board President, members of the Board, Mr. Garcia, and all that are present. Special Ed Department is seeking the approval of Braille reading and writing course in order to meet the needs of our students. The district VI contractor will provide and supervise services as needed. We mentioned a couple of schools, but of course, as the year goes by, our needs might change. Braille reading and writing course will provide instruction in pre-Braille skills, tactical discrimination, reading and writing Braille code, the development of effective Braille reading, including fluency and comprehension. The Braille reading and writing course will emphasize the conversions of mechanics of Braille. And it is stated in the student's ARD.
Yes.
Do we have a motion on item 13?
I move that we approve this item as presented.
We have a motion by Ms. Solis. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second by Mr. Gonzalez. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Thank
you, Ms. Gonzalez. Reports and information. Item 1, reports on assessment results and state and federal accountability for the 2015-2016 school year.
Board President, Mr. Garcia, members of the board, is it okay if I move that way so I could see a little better?
Yes.
Basically, what I'm presenting today is an annual report on the student assessment and the accountability. Not all the reports are out like they normally would be out, like the PBAMS is not out yet. So there's some slides there that just explain it, but there's no data or report for me to give you because TA hasn't posted that, but there are some dates where that is coming up. So this is just standard data. I think Mr. Garcia has already shared some of the accountability information with you all. I know it was in the monitor, but we have to share the assessment results every August before we start school in September. This is for the spring 2016. Those are the assessments that we gave in 2015 and 2016, same as last year. Let's see if it reaches from here. Yeah, it does. The next slide talks about the end of course. There are 5 end of course exams that students take at the high school. However, because of Senate Bill 149, they're only required to pass 3 out of the 5 exams. So the exams don't matter which they pass as long as it's 3 of those 5. And it applies for this year's juniors and this year's seniors. We don't know if that Senate bill will stay in effect, but it is in effect now. For the spring end-of-course mathematics result, the state was at a 77%, Rio High was at a 71%, Gruya High was at a 66%, and the middle schools were at a 99%. Keep in mind that these results are based on combined reports for all STAR versions. Something that Mr. Garcia asked me to share with you all was, since for accountability everybody counts STAR A, STAR L, STAR Spanish, he wanted me to make sure that I gave you all factual information, that I included all students. So when you see the numbers, you may think, well, why are they low? Well, the state comparison also includes the combined reports because everything counts now. There's no excluding any student population, so I wanted to be upfront with what those numbers were. So they're going to be a little bit lower than they normally were because before we were able to pull out or extract certain things, but that no longer is the case, so that's why the numbers show. But I went ahead and put them side by side with the state. If you look at the end of course for English 1 and 2, the state was at a 60, Rio High was at a 47, Gruya High was at a 43. English 2, they were at 64 at the state, Rio High was at 55, and Gruya was at a 47. For the English and the end of course exams, I'm reporting for both the state and for our local numbers, I'm reporting first time test takers. There's no repeaters in these particular numbers. End of course U.S. history results at the state, they were at a 91, Rio High was at 89, and Gruya was at an 83. You can change it. My mouth talks as fast as my brain, sorry. I am on the slide with end of course science results. For the state, they were at an 87 in biology, Rio High was at an 80%, and Gruya was at an 80%. Both high schools had the same score in the science, which was the biology. For the 2016 STAR Middle School results, I put the middle school side by side with the state as well. For the 6th grade reading, the state was at a 68%. Gruya was at a 49%, Ringo was at a 54%, and Veterans was at a 57%. In 6th grade math, the state was at a 71, Gruya Middle was at a 69, Ringo Middle 69, and Veterans Middle was at a 63. Again, this also includes combined reports of all STAR versions for all students. For the spring for the spring 7th grade results, in the state, the reading was a 69, Gruya Middle was a 48, Ringo Middle was a 52, Veterans Middle was a 61. 7th grade math, the state was at a 67, Gruya was at a 42, Ringgold at a 64, Veterans at a 59. In writing for the 7th grade, 67, 59, 55 for Gruya, 54 for Ringgold, and a 69 for Veterans Middle School. And then the 8th grade results, they have two sets of results because they have a first administration and a second administration. I put both numbers because the state does give us credit for accountability for that second go-around. So if any students pass in May, we also get credit for those. Anybody that tests in the June testing, we do not get credit. That is just for SSI, which was canceled this year. We did not have that summer testing because the state canceled it like 2 weeks before we were set to test. In 8th grade social studies, the state was at a 61. Gruya was at a 49, Ringgold 49, Veterans 43. In 8th grade science, the state was at a 73, Gruya was at a 58, Ringgold at a 58, and Veterans at a 56. In 8th grade math, first go-around of the first administration that was in March, the state was at a 69, Gruya was at a 46, Ringgold was at a 47, Veterans at a 62. In the second administration of the 8th grade math, the state was at a 79, Gruya was at a 58, Ringo was at a 69, and Veterans was at a 74. Same thing with reading. There's a March administration, which is the first set of numbers. The state was at a 79, Gruya was at a 56, Ringo was at a 57, Veterans was at a 75, and in the second administration, the state was at an 85, Gruya Middle 67, Ringo Middle 67, and Veterans Middle was an 80. Again, based on all-star versions for all students. For elementary results, I'm going to start with 3rd grade reading. The state was at a 72%, again, based on all students, all versions. Alto Bonito was at a 45%, Dr. Ramirez was at a 52, Sanchez was at a 58, Gruya Elementary was at a 66, La Union 53, North Grammar 49, John and Olive 51, Ringgold Elementary 68, and Roque Guerra 61. In 3rd grade math, the state was at a 74, Alto Bonito was at a 71, Dr. Ramirez was at an 80, General Sanchez was at a 57, Gruya Elementary was at a 74, La Union Elementary was at a 60. North Grammar Elementary was at a 70. J&O Elementary was at a 64. Ringgold Elementary was at 86. And Roque Guerra was at 80%. For fourth grade elementary schools, there are 3 tests, the reading, the math, and the writing. The state was at a 74 in reading, Alto Bonito 71, Dr. Ramirez 57, General Sanchez 64, Gruya Elementary 55, La Union Elementary 56, North Grammar 65, J&O 55, Ringgold Elementary 80, Roque Guerra 62. In fourth grade math, the state was at 72, Alto Bonito was at a 77, Dr. Ramirez was at a 59, General Sanchez was at a 71, Gruya Elementary was at a 61, La Union Elementary was 70, North Grammar 75, John and Olive 74, Ringgold Elementary 82, Roque Guerra 77. For fourth grade writing, the state was 67, Alto Bonito was 75, Dr. Ramirez was 52, General Sanchez was 59, Gruya Elementary 51, La Union Elementary 51, North Grammar was 60, J&O was 43, and Ringgold Elementary 70, and Roque Guerra 68. Last set of numbers, which is the fifth grade elementary school scores. We test 3 different areas, science, math, and reading. And again, there is 2 administrations in the fifth grade since it's an SSI, or it was an SSI grade. The state was at a 72 in science, Alto Bonito 66, Dr. Ramirez 63, General Sanchez 73, Gruya Elementary 68, La Union Elementary 70, North Grammar 50, J&O 77, Ringgold Elementary 58, and Roque Guerra 77. In math, there's the first administration, which was in March for fifth grade math. The state was at a 76, Alto Bonito was at an 83, Dr. Ramirez 68, General Sanchez 81, Gruya 70, La Union 75, North Grammar 53, J&O 84, Ringgold Elementary 69, and Roque Guerra 71. Second administration for math, the state was at an 80, Alto Bonito was 88, Dr. Ramirez was 79, General Sanchez was 90, Gruya Elementary 83, La Union 86, North Grammar 70, J&O 94, Ringgold Elementary 83, and Roque Guerra 83. For reading, first administration in March, the state was at a 72, Alto Bonito was at a 65, Dr. Ramirez was at a 65, General Sanchez was at a 69, Gruya 56, La Union 43, North Grammar 50, J&O 68, Ringgold Elementary 62, Roque Guerra 53. Then second administration for reading, the state was at an 80, Alto Bonito was at a 70, Dr. Ramirez was at a 70, General Sanchez 77, Gruya Elementary 70, La Union 61, North Grammar 62, J&O 76, Ringgold Elementary 69, and Roque Guerra was at a 68. And again, like I said, all reports are based on all-star versions for all students. For the performance-based monitoring, just to let you know what we are evaluated on, but we have no scores yet. That usually was posted always by between August 9th and August 15th, that report was posted. But because we had that new ETS company that took over the testing, the reporting and getting the data back has taken a little bit longer for everybody, so the PBAMS is still not available. It's coming, and I have a date for you on one of the slides. So there is nothing to report on PBAMS, so I'm assuming I will probably be back once that data is available. Probably sometime in late September, if not early October, I will report that to you all. In accountability, of course, every year we have an accountability rating. That was published in the paper, and I know that several people shared it on Facebook. I think 94% of the schools in Texas met accountability. We were one of them. And all our campuses in the district, if you look at that page, met accountability. So we did meet our rating for this year. And there are a couple of slides there that tell you what that explains. What is not out yet, and I know several principals have called me, is the distinction designations. That has not been posted yet, but that is forthcoming. Again, that is also because the data is being reported late. What assessments are included in state accountability? The STAR English, the STAR Spanish, the STAR EOC, the STAR A, the STAR L, and the STAR Alternate 2, which is why Mr. Garcia said when you report the data, make sure you include all the assessments and all the exams that are being included in accountability, because sometimes people say, well, let me clean my data. Well, there's no such thing as let me clean the data. Everything counts, and everything is represented in accountability. So the numbers that I shared with you include all of those assessments. For the 2016 state accountability ratings, the criteria was as follows. You needed to have met index 1 or 2, but you had to meet index 3 and you had to meet index 4. And we only had one campus that didn't meet all the indexes, and that campus is listed on the next slide. The deadline for the Ts to report the accountability data tables is going to be August 26th, and the distinction designations, those stars that everybody said, well, how many stars did I get? That'll be on September 16th. That'll be posted on the TEA website. So those are the 2 dates that are coming up. But if you look at the table there, everybody met accountability except Gruya Middle missed it in one area. So when you look at all the numbers across, everybody has a yes, 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 but we missed it in index number 1 for Gruya Middle. And index number 1 is the one that's based on the scores. It's based on how the students perform. But because the criteria for this year was 1 or 2, everybody did meet it. If it had been you had to have all the indexes, then we might have had a campus not meet accountability. But all campuses met accountability as well as the district. What's the future for accountability? There's a table there that tells you what's coming up. This is the last year that we're having this accountability system. We're moving to an accountability system that's going to be A through F. So coming next year, we'll be rated accordingly. We will get an A, a B, a C, a D. I know I have an accountability training coming up in September, and they're going to talk more about that. But what the state is going to do is they're going to take our numbers from the spring of 2016, and they're going to calculate those numbers in this new accountability system to kind of let us know where we would fall had we had these scores, had we had these numbers. So we should be getting that information in January, and once we get that, I will share it with the board and let you all know where we would fall as far as that new accountability system would go. And that doesn't take effect until the spring of 2017, that we are shifting to a new accountability system. Are there any questions that you all might have?
No.
I know I speak pretty fast, so but how long is it going to take? No more than 10 minutes. So, any questions, Mr. Garcia?
No, ma'am. Just wanted to make sure that we reiterate back on what you were saying about making sure that we're aggregating all scores now through special ed and all. So we need to make sure that, you know, we're all held accountable for every specific student in the classroom.
I know one of the things that Mr. Garcia asked me to do, and no one had ever asked me to do that. He says, okay, you showed me the numbers, you showed me everything. I want a one-page report with all the special pops. So I put a report together for him on one page that had all the special ed scores by grade level, the same information that I'm presenting here, but for special ed, for bilingual, and for migrant, because those are how we're graded in PBAMS. And if we're focusing on this, well, the numbers look okay, but then when you look at those other numbers, they're a little bit more dismal. So he wanted to see that and then share that with those directors so that they could see, okay, these are the numbers for your particular program. So I know that he had me put that together. So we're going to be keeping an eye on those scores as well.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Ms. Herrera. It is 7:02. We'll be heading to closed session under the authority of the Texas Government Code Section 551.071. Everybody's back. It is now 7:22. We are out of closed session. Item A, do we have a motion, item A?
Move we approve item A as discussed in closed session.
We have a motion by Mr. Gonzalez. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second by Ms. Solis. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item B, do we have a motion, item B?
Move to approve item B is discussed in closed session.
We have a motion by Mr. Klein. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second by Ms. Solis. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item C, do we have a motion, item C?
Move to approve item C is discussed in closed session.
We have a motion by Mr. Klein. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second by Ms. Solis. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item D, do we have a motion, item D?
Move to approve item D is discussed in closed session.
We have a motion by Mr. Klein on item D. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second by Ms. Solis. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. And just to announce, item D was a counselor for General Ricardo Sanchez, and the recommendation was Ms. Nancy Vicencio. I just had a little bit difficult saying the last name.
Is she here?
I don't know if she's here, but
No.
Item E, do we have a motion, item E?
I move we approve item E as discussed in closed session.
We have a motion by Mr. Gonzalez. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second by Ms. Solis. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item E was a counselor at Roque Guerra Junior Elementary, and the recommendation was Ms. Laura Diaz. I don't know if she's here, but no, she's in the back. Congratulations, Ms. Diaz.
Oh, she's in the back.
Item F, do we have a motion, item F?
I move that we approve item F as discussed in closed session.
We have a motion by Mr. Ramirez. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second by Mr. Gonzalez. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. This position was for Chief Financial Officer. The recommendation was Mr. Jorge Recio. Congratulations, Mr. Item G, discussion on recommendation for Director of, item G, do we have a motion, item G?
I move to approve item G, discussed in closed session.
We have a motion by
I
Mr. Klein, a second by Ms. Solis. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Director of Bilingual will be Mr. Jesus Martinez.
Doctor. Oh, there you go.
Item H, do we have a motion for item H?
I move we approve item H as discussed in closed session.
We have a motion by Mr. Ramirez. We have a second. We have a second by Ms. Solis. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Director of Technology is Mr. Eddie Sainz. Item I, discussion on item I, do we have a motion for item I?
Move we approve item I as discussed in closed session.
We have a motion by Mr. Gonzalez. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second by Ms. Solis. All in favor say aye.
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 All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Director of Maintenance is
We'll just say TJ. Gonzalez.
TJ Gonzalez.
No one knew the name Epigenio.
Item J, discussion on recommendation. Item J, do we have a motion for item J?
I move to approve this item as presented in executive.
We have a motion by Ms. Solis. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second by Mr. Ramirez. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item J is Assistant Athletic Director will be Ms. Cita Jimenez. Item K, do we have a motion, item K?
I move to approve item K, discussed in closed session.
We have a motion by Mr. Klein. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second by Ms. Solis. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. This position is Supervisor for Elementary Student Intervention, and that'll be Mr. Siriapio Trialles. Item L, do we have a motion for item L?
I move that we approve item L as discussed in closed session.
We have a motion for
Second.
item L by Mr. Ramirez. We have a second by Ms. Solis. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item L is Attendance and Adjudication Administrator. That'll be Mr. Jorge Garcia. Do we have a motion for adjournment?
I so move.
A second.
Second.
Meeting is now adjourned at 7:27.
Thank you. Ms. Beck.